When we were in the process of selecting a broker to represent us both in the Tuscany Plaza negotiations and for Yum U, which is our test kitchen space, selecting a broker that had no conflict of interest with landlords was extremely top of mind for us. You know, I've found over the years in dealing with different types of brokers in these instances that the less conflict you have in that area, the better off you're going to be in terms of your negotiations, and not having to worry about whether or not your broker is representing your interests exclusively or is skewing to the side of the landlord on occasion. The analysis before you actually got into the negotiations, so that when we went into negotiation with the landlord, I had all the information I needed with respect to what the market conditions were in order to go in there with my strongest case. And then on the other side of the table, once we got into the negotiations, I never felt that Jim or his team were trying to steer me towards a conclusion. I felt like they were representing our interests exclusively, and that whatever the outcome was going to be the best outcome for Red Robin. Yeah, I think Jim and his team, you know, in the back of their mind, you always want to get to the win-win between the landlord and the tenant, because from Red Robin's perspective, we're signing up with our landlord for another 7 years, so we have to live with them for another 7 years. And if you strong-arm them, if you are negotiating not in good faith, if you are kind of a jerk during your negotiations, they're going to remember that during the course of the term, but also 7 years from then when you've got to negotiate again. So you always want to preserve the relationship, and I think Jim and his team helped us to do that by always being above board, by not being underhanded, and by just conducting themselves as the professionals that we knew they were. Throughout the negotiations for the Tuscany Plaza renewal, as well as 3 additions that we did here, he's always been extremely responsive and professional.